Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're breaking down the true story of a brilliant cat and mouse game, where a gang of thieves was so unbelievably arrogant, they would actually call the police and tell them where they were about to rob, and they still got away with it.
So how is that even possible, right? How do you catch somebody who literally tells you their every move? Well, that's the big puzzle at the heart of this incredible case of psychological warfare, where the truth itself became the ultimate weapon of misdirection.
Now, to really get what was going on here, you have to understand this was never just about stealing stuff. Nope. From the very beginning, this was a high-stakes duel, a direct challenge between two very smart, very determined minds.
Okay, so on one side, you've got this professional crew of 3 guys, led by a mastermind named Amr. And this guy isn't just smart, he is off-the-charts arrogant and bold. And on the other side, you've got Lieutenant Colonel Hisham and his police force, just trying to solve what seems like an impossible problem.
This is where the gang's strategy gets really wild. See, Amr and his crew, they didn't hide in the shadows like you'd expect. Nah, they stepped right out into the spotlight to play a very public, very humiliating game with the cops.
So get this, they somehow got Lieutenant Colonel Hisham's personal phone number. And before every single robbery, Amr himself would call him up, lay out the plan, and basically dare him to do something about it. I mean, can you imagine the nerve? This wasn't just a crime spree. This was a public shaming of the entire police department.
But of course, the call was a brilliant piece of misdirection. While Hisham had his officers surrounding the apartment they said they'd hit, Amr and his crew were all the way on the other side of town, hitting their real target and just vanishing without a trace. And they weren't done there. They'd actually call Hisham after the successful robbery just to rub salt in the wound, saying stuff like, "Hey, it looks like your men are getting cold watching the wrong house." This whole thing was becoming a massive public embarrassment for the police.
So after getting humiliated time and time again, Hisham finally has this breakthrough moment. He realizes the gang isn't just smart, they had to be watching him. They knew exactly how the police were going to react because they were always one step ahead.
Hisham knew he couldn't just keep reacting. He had to completely flip the script. He needed to set a trap inside of another trap. The idea was to use the gang's biggest strengths, their confidence and their constant surveillance, and turn them into their own downfall.
And he was about to get his chance to test this new theory. Sure enough, the phone rings. It's the gang, and they name their next target, Apartment 3 in a particular building. Only this time, Hisham was ready. His counter-ambush plan kicked into high gear. Hisham's plan was just a 3-step masterpiece. Step 1, the feint. He sets up a super obvious police stakeout, giving the gang exactly the show they expect to see. Step 2, the fake retreat. He makes a big, noisy deal about pulling all his units out, making it look like they've given up. And finally, Step 3, the real ambush. His team sneaks back in the dead of night and hides, not outside, but inside the target apartment.
And just like Hisham predicted, Amr and his crew had been watching the whole time. They saw the police show up, they saw them leave, and they thought, we won again. The stage was set for the final act.
Absolutely convinced the police were gone, totally blinded by their own past successes, the 3 men stroll right up to the target building.
From where they were standing, their little misdirection trick had worked perfectly, or so they thought. The coast looked completely clear.
So they easily break the lock on Apartment 3, and then they step inside, walking right into the one place on Earth they believed was totally safe.
The second that door clicked shut behind the 3rd guy, Hisham gave the signal, and from closets, from other rooms, out of the shadows, police officers swarmed them. The gang was completely stunned, totally surrounded. The trap had been sprung. And just like that, their game was over. The gang was arrested red-handed, caught in the act with all the evidence you could ever need. Their intelligence had finally been outsmarted, and their arrogance led them right to their own downfall. In the end, it wasn't just about getting caught. Their arrogance sealed their fate in court. The verdict was swift, guilty of aggravated robbery and forming a criminal gang. The sentence, 7 years of hard labor.
Which leaves us with one last thing to think about. What really brought them down? Was it Hisham's absolutely brilliant counter-ambush? Or was it their own blinding pride that made them walk straight into the one trap they were too arrogant to ever see coming?